What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, so time for the Warhammer part of Double Feature Friday. This is something by One Mind Syndicate. This is Haunted Planets on Warhammer 40K for the Greater Wah. So this just looked interesting. Haunted Planets. Okay. So let's see. Just a sec. Oh, jeez. Anyway, let's see what he's got for us here. And go. One Mind Syndicate.
What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with the one, the only
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question.
I have a question.
Questions first.
What is the capital of South Dakota?
Stop putting your hands there, because you're about to make me.
Not sponsored.
Yeah.
Bruh,
yeah.
That is bad. That is very, very
Adam and Eve.
No,
yeah.
Dude.
This question comes from Juan Jose Mendivil. Are there haunted planets outside the warp? I mean, that sounds like a 40K thing.
Yeah. I like the way you said it. It just like stumbled into one another.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a comma there, but I'm pretty sure Juan Jose Mendivil did not put such punctuation.
No. And yeah, there are haunted planets. It's kind of like the ones that come to mind are quarantine planets. We have a 40 facts video on them, but basically they are planets that some catastrophe happened. Usually, like the common ones are like they were the birthing place or the home planet of a Primarch veteran trader, and they still exist. They're out of bounds. Nobody can go to them. So think of them as like a ghost town. So if you go there, you'll probably find the forces of chaos, which will equal to ghosts.
Yes. Another area that
and you'll be executed by the Inquisition
of ghost planets is the Ghoul stars.
Yeah.
It's basically a sector of space where, surprisingly, nobody really knows what happened, but basically all life on those planets have gone. Whether it was from some like ancient Catan or a chaos incursion or Tyranids, they don't know, but they're all basically ghost town planets.
Yeah, and any expedition into the Ghoul stars has ended in failure. I think the most famous one was it Slime Marbo? No.
Slime Marbo? No.
Warmaster
Not Slime Marbo.
Slido or something like that.
Yeah.
And his crusade, or
even the expedition the Tyranids sent in ended in disaster. The Tyranids came out insane.
You'll get like death.
Not even the Tyranids go there.
Expeditions into there trying to recover certain artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think the Astronomicon doesn't reach that area of space. Right. Yeah. So that's even more dangerous to get over there and come back.
Yep. And then finally you also have, like, you kind of mentioned, like, not in the warp, but at the edge of the Eye of Terror, there were the Maiden Worlds, which used to be the old school, like,
Maiden Worlds?
Eldar home like sector world or
before
place.
It got Slaaneshed.
Those are just full of really like weird demonic things. Usually the souls of the Eldar that died, and Slaanesh just kind of keeps them there.
Yeah, the
souls, not the actual bodies. Those were consumed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Next question.
Next one.
This one is by Melosh M. Did the Emperor assign names to the Primarchs, or were they unnamed when they were taken? Thanks, and keep up the good work.
So we talked about this a little bit in a previous episode where we were talking about.
This could have been something from like a text-to-speech podcast.
Yeah, speaking its true name. So you have Demon Mortarion,
which we all know Mortarion is not his true name. It is the name his adopted father Barbaros gave him.
Yeah,
and their true names is indeed the ones that the Emperor gave them, which confirms that the Emperor did give them all names. Now the thing is, since there has been new lore since this came out in the novels, we now know that Erda, or Erda, however you want to pronounce it, Murda, she also had a play in creating the Primarchs. So did she also have a play in naming these Primarchs? And if so, does that hold the same weight as names given by the Emperor? So it's kind of like up in the air now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do have true names.
Yep. Next question is from 1011. Who has the biggest girth, Firstborn or Primaris? And which legion is the biggest of them all? So Primaris are bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you mean like, in terms of size of the entire body.
Nah, he wasn't talking. He wasn't talking about something else. Bruh.
Right. They don't need that. They're there for war.
Insert
And if they have
Zarbon
that
moan
appendage,
here.
It's like, why?
Yeah, exactly. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
And then who is the biggest of them all? Carcharodons. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, Minotaurs are also pretty big.
Salamanders.
Yeah, but I still think it's between Carcharodons and Salamanders.
Yeah.
But yeah, as for opposed to why the Primaris are bigger.
Yeah, given
their
the
muscles
Vulcans
get
there.
infused with like
Primarch, I would
what is it,
imagine
like
the salamanders are
titanium
huge.
alloys or some awesome powerful type of like metal.
Yeah, we have 40 facts on like the differences between Primaris and the traditional Marines. What are they called?
Firstborn.
Firstborn, yeah. And there's like 3 or 4 gene seed organs that affect the other organs that just make them bigger.
Yes. This one's by Lemec and Cheese. Since the Emperor
So many
wanted
Zarbon
all
modes for
humanity
that.
to fend for itself, how strong would they have to be able to do that? Would the humans need to be their own space marines, or even make their own space marines to protect themselves?
That's a good question, but I don't think it's about the size or the strength of the soldiers because, like the Death Corps of Krieg has proved,
Exactly.
wars of attrition are, it's a viable way to destroy some or to defend themselves. But then also that's just like the concept of war. In reality, what the Emperor was looking for was internal strength in terms of their organization, which is why right before or when he left to go work on the Webway project, he gave the power of like running the Imperium not to a Primarch but to planetary governors or like the High Lords basically, or what would become the High Lords.
Yeah, and how well that
So that's what he
turned
meant.
out, huh?
Like, the problem with humanity now is not their strength in terms of military power, it is their organization and how they can't really like cooperate. Like every single faction.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like every
Even
single
now,
faction.
I feel like if you take Space Marines away from the Imperium, I still think they'll do all right.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably get.
They're not exactly doing all
consumed
right
by, like,
now.
the orcs and the Tyranids, but they still have decisions of battle.
I mean, the whole
billions
Imperium's hanging by a
upon
thread.
trillions of Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
The Inquisitors are there. You still have the Sisters of
Admech.
Silence, the Admech, the Custodes. They have a lot going for them.
Yeah.
The Custodes, though, they're like
Next question comes
super
from
Marines,
Kirk
though.
Gamer. How bright is the Emperor's soul? Pretty bright. As bright as the Astronomicon. Technically, it's his soul power, or his
It
powers
is.
that come from his
He
soul
is the
power,
Astronomicon.
And it doesn't cover the entire galaxy like we just talked about with the Ghoul stars, and part of the Eastern Fringe.
Yeah.
That it doesn't cover all the way deep into like.
It's
that
also
part.
cut off because of the Great Rift that
pretty-
goes through the
pretty-
galaxy.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge like powerhouse, but it does have its limits. Because the thing is, when you talk about the Emperor, he's not a god. He's not omnipotent. He's not all-knowing. He's not all-powerful. There are limits to his strength.
Oh, don't tell that to the
But,
40K
like,
fans.
You hear all these deeds that he did, everything that he was able to accomplish, and it's like, whoa, how could one man do this? He must be a god. But
He's
no,
not
I
a
mean,
god,
stories
he's
get
just
embellished
evolved.
and whatnot. So, as we all thought, the Emperor, created the Primarch. So it turns out he had some help.
Right,
the
yeah.
Perpetuals and Malkador and whatnot. So, heresy, it sounds like it, but the Emperor
Heresy.
didn't do it all by himself. So, Astronomicon doesn't encompass all.
Right. Yeah. He's bright, but not as bright as a diamond.
Wait, what?
This next one's by Diego Martinez. What would you guys like to see be the next progression for 40K? A return of a Primarch? Demons inside the Imperial Palace? What?
Doesn't the Imperial
Progression
Palace
what?
already have
40K.
demons?
Oh, honestly, I think GW is doing a good job of like slowing it down, pumping the brakes, and because there's something weird about progression in 40K because they usually tend to retcon things,
Yeah.
like the Mother of the Emperor or the Primarchs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? Like, did we really need that?
Right.
Primaris, did we really need that? Why not just buff up the Firstborn?
Ultramarines.
So, what would I
Yeah,
like
why
to
do you need
see?
the
A little
what
bit
the-
more area for homebrewing.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Less
something like text to
solid
speech, the way,
answers,
like,
because they usually
Emperor
fuck 'em up.
reconciling with Magnus and
more
shit like that.
ambiguity.
The return,
Right. One
the
of the big
Primarchs all
fuck-ups that I
coming
can think
together
of is
and
the
stuff.
Exorcist
I
chat.
think text to speech
Yeah.
is the
Like, oh,
best
these badasses,
progression for
they
Warhammer.
might be, deriving from the Grey Knights, like as a successor. Nah, they're just Imperial Fists.
Which doesn't make any sense. Like, it's annoying because then
Yeah.
you have all these people who created these successor chapters of the Grey Knights, and now it's like, but no. technically.
No.
The one thing about 40K
That's the
stuff,
problem I hate
even
with
if
stuff
it's
like this, with
quote-unquote
corporations
canon,
running
it could
this
just be a
shit,
point of view
is that
that's
it just
which
shit gets
we've come to
retconned
see
so
that
bad.
time
Damn,
and
look
time
what
again.
Blizzard did to the
You
lore of
think,
Warhammer.
oh yeah, they're the successors
Horrible.
of the Imperial Fist, but it may just be
I
that's
mean,
the
not Warhammer,
bullshit
Warcraft,
that the Grey Knights
sorry,
are feeding
Warhammer.
the Inquisition to kind of
What
keep
Blizzard
them
did
off
to
tracks.
the
It
lore
still
of
doesn't
Warcraft.
stop all those annoying kids at the GW store going like, "Oh, you can't do that because you're Imperial Fists."
Mm-hmm. Why are your towel green?
Exactly.
Dude, I just sneezed on it, man. Let me wipe it off.
It's mucus.
Mucus.
Nerd.
Ugh, gross.
The next question comes from the big one. Is using a black permanent marker a foolproof way to bringing my hairline back to its former glory?
What the
You know
hell,
what I've been
dude?
getting a lot on TikTok is those implant thingies. What are they called? Like where they take a portion of the back of your hair and then
They
put
take
it in
hair
the
from
front.
your ass and they
Like,
put it on
yeah,
your head.
hair
Yeah,
implants.
yeah. Follicle manipulation, I think.
So do that. So
Phallic
go
manipulation.
to Colombia and get
God,
that
that's
done.
wrong.
I think it's like a
Go to
nickel over
Colombia.
there. And then while you're there, get a Brazilian butt lift.
BBL.
A Brazilian butt lift.
You're gonna have to like turn into a whole new person, but so do Space Marines, and they're not complaining.
Dude.
Next question. This one,
You got one?
yes.
Because I don't.
Because I
Kurt
don't.
Gamer. If we shove all of the shattered parts of if we shove all the shattered parts of all the powerful beings in 40K into one being, would it be strong? Would it even be possible?
It would explode.
Shattered parts of all the powerful beings
It means
in
the
40K
Catan
galaxy?
shards of the
So the way
Emperor.
I'm interpreting this is that a lot of the heavy hitters of 40K are fractured at some point. The Catan were gods, and now they're shards. The Emperor was at his prime during the 30K era, and now he's like half dead on the Golden Throne. But then there's also the God Emperor in the war. Magnus, apparently, his soul has been split into 12 different personalities or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like if we take all those pieces and put them into one thing, would it work?
Just gotta cram it all in there. No.
Because I mean that's
Exactly.
just too much. That's like saying, "Oh, I love all these ice creams. Let me eat a
kind of a
spoonful
dumb
of all of
question,
them all at
though.
once." It's just gonna taste nasty.
Yeah. And at the same time, I don't think they'll be as powerful as a Chaos God. Because
Yeah.
Chaos Gods are constantly being fractured, and they're still powerful enough to like exist in a realm of no time or space.
Right, right. And it's like that's how the saying goes: too much of a good thing is bad for you.
Exactly.
Just like
Too
if
much
you
of a
die by
bad
drinking
thing is
water.
bad for you too.
Too much water.
Too much water.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out and talking to us, or asking us questions, I should say. And we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist,
Gersh1.
and we are out.
Okay. So that wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but, you know, that was a thing. It was informative a bit. So, yeah, so that was Haunted Planets on Warhammer 40K for the Greater Waha. One Mind Syndicate. By One Mind Syndicate. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys found it a bit informative. You know, not very animated or anything like that. Basically, it's just a podcast, so... You know, I'm throwing it out there, just see if it sticks. You know, if it doesn't, I probably won't do another one of these again. Anyway, so if you guys enjoyed that, like this video, subscribe to me, help us to reach that 100,000 subscribers, or we go way past it if we're already there, because I'm doing this days before you guys are seeing it. And of course, definitely click on the link to the original down in the description. Get down to One Mind Syndicate's channel, like the original, sub to him over there if you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.